What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome along to episode number 44 of the F1 Ultimate Career Series for the Austrian Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, make sure to go check that one out before you see this one. And as always, if you're new around here, then make sure to get subscribed for more future F1 content as the series continues on. So, halfway now through the 2022 season, and as a result, our contract renewal with Mercedes is up, so it's time to renegotiate with our team and get set for the second half of this campaign. Of course, the Drivers' Championship still very much on it with this team and this car, and the Constructors plenty still in there as well. So we'll go for a medium risk offer to get ourselves back in the seat to guarantee we'll still be able to fight for the championship in these last 8 rounds. Should be a very entertaining second half of the season as it has been as in the first half. And there we go, our seat has been renewed for the next 8 race weekends, so we'll be there to the end of the season at most. And obviously, money's going to our perk fund. We'll put that towards development feedback, I think, of the 3 of them here. Social media, team, driver acclaim, not really worth anything in this series, obviously going from game to game. So power mapping and development feedback, those 2, 1 perk each on those. That's hopefully help us some reliability over the course of the rest of the season. In terms of upgrades, then, because we've got 3,000 resource points to spend, we'll put them both put all towards chassis upgrades. And we've only got 800 points left, so I think it won't be enough for anything on the durability front at this point. Might be close, we can get a discount if we're lucky. We'll have to scroll down here, nothing. Everything costs over 1,000. So just the 2 upgrades for now then. But Ferrari actually taken Red Bull. They're not the fastest team on the grid just. And we are closing in. See, that gap has closed massively. Look at the gap we've closed over the course of the season. It's been fantastic stuff. And in terms of the power unit, of course, we've got a few parts there. That's the ICE, the MGU-H, that might need changing, the turbocharger as well. It'll be close there. And I did consider changing them for a second, but I think we'll go back onto the second ones for now. And if we need to make a change during the race weekend, because obviously it is a sprint weekend, then we'll do that. And obviously we might have to take a fresh parts of the power unit for the Grand Prix. That's the championship. Then for the first time we lead the championship tie with Verstappen. We think we got it on count back because we've got more second place finishes. Sainz in 3rd place, just 11 points back, so he's similar shout as well. But of course, Verstappen has beaten us in the rivalry after the last episode, so no rival for now. But hopefully we'll get one in for the next episode, which will be in Hungary, I believe. So here we go then. Nothing left to do in terms of work in the team hub. So it's time to head over to the Red Bull Ring and get this race weekend underway. Time then for qualifying for the Austrian Grand Prix and back at the circuit that started it all. Of course, those of you who've been here since the new year will know this will be the first episode of F1 Ultimate Career took place when we were in Formula 2. Power unit still looking a bit worn after free practice, obviously give it a bit more wear on those using the quick practice simulator in the session. I have to keep an eye on things. I think we should potentially be looking at a change either before the sprint or before the Grand Prix. So it's likely to be losing some places in terms of grid penalties. So that's to do it well in qualifying and in the sprint race. So go up towards turn 1 and start our first flying lap. Of course, the Red Bull Ring, one of the shortest tracks on the circuit, and let's make our way through turn 1 up towards turn 2. Of course, first DRS zone of 3 in play here, so up towards turn 2 and now towards 3, and looking for that very tight apex going into the right hand, one of the tightest corners on the circuit. Of course, big inclination change as well. So off the corner, you can get a good exit here. DRS is waiting as you make your way off of turn 3 and towards turn 4. Of course, many instances there in the past, notable ones including Hamilton's contact with Albon later on the race in 2020. Of course, that was a very interesting race in real life. Obviously, I think it was as interesting for us back in season 1. But off the last corner, they're through turn 10. Bit of slide on corner exit, keeping away from those curves. Perez 1 minute 5.6. First curve of the line, 1 minute 6.4, and we are well off the pace. Whether it's the case of the power unit being worn, or the fact we're just slow as we always are on our first lap in qualifying. But a frustrating start to things then, and we'll see in terms of how far down the order we actually are. 10th place for moving start accelerating time for out the top 10. Leclerc fastest as of right now, Hamilton second, and we sit down in P16. It has not been good so far. We're going to need a lot of gain on our second qualifying lap in order to try and get that time back and keep ourselves hopefully in the top 8 going into the sprint race. Obviously, top 8 will score points. So on to our second lap then, and closing in the end of the session now towards turns 9 and 10. Once again, P16 on the board right now through turn 9 and down towards turn 10. A bit wide there on corner exit, but lucky to avoid a warning or a penalty. Off turn 10, keeping it within the white lines this time. 9/10 up towards the line. Big gains there in the last couple of corners. Obviously, thanks to us going wide, we're getting a bit of time through there. But in the end, it's P7 on the starting grid. So a decent spot going to the sprint, but could have been a lot better.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Leclerc, Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Goodbye for now then, but really we're just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So Leclerc takes pole, then Verstappen second, and Hamilton lines up in 3rd place. Of course, Verstappen being in front of us will score crucial points and break the tie in the standings should he beat us here. But luckily only by a few points, so it'll be a case of damage limitation in the sprint race, and we'll see in terms of power unit, can we survive with the engine as it is? Time now for the sprint.
Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Sainz, Lando Norris, and Perez, Cohen, Magnussen, Gasly, and Esteban Ocon, Ricciardo, Mick Schumacher, Guan Yu Zhou, and Fernando Alonso, Bottas, Tsunoda, Lance Stroll, and Sebastian Vettel, Albon, and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
So no more talking then, it is all about pedal to the metal in the sprint race from P7 on the starting grid, looking to trying to gain some places and try and keep Verstappen from gaining too much of an advantage on us. Medium tyres all the way in this thing, and nothing but hard charging from when the lights go out all the way to the checkered flag. Let's do this.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway ahead of today's sprint.
Starting tyres, everyone on the mediums there. Leclerc, Verstappen, Hamilton in your top three. Sainz in 4th, Norris 5th, Perez 6th. We start from 7th, Magnussen 8th, Gasly 9th, and Esteban Ocon round out the top 10.
We're almost ready to start the sprint as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
So as I say then, it's crucial we try and gain some places on the first couple of laps. The sprint's only 12 laps long, so 1/3 of the full Grand Prix distance for us, 36 laps in the Grand Prix today. And crucially, so we need the Ferraris to give us a bit of a hand here, because if Verstappen can take the lead from Leclerc on the start and pull off into the sunset, that's at least 6-7 points to be gaining as it stands right now. So we need to get a good start. We need to get a good start, and we need to hope that the Ferraris can keep Verstappen busy over the course of the race. His teammate there, Sergio Perez, is on our right, starting in P6. The last two cars, the Williams cars, take their places on the grid. We get ready for the start of what should be a very, very exciting 12 laps here around Austria, around the bull ring that is this circuit. The lights are going to go on. Verstappen and Leclerc on the front row for the sprint race. Lights out, foot to the floor. We are underway. Decent start there on the left. The Magnussen on our right, going towards turn 1. Good start from the Haas machine. Going to try and run the outside of a few cars if we can into this first braking zone. Passing Magnussen, passing Perez. Might try and get Norris to Hamilton on the sausage curb. The exit at turn 1. Threading the needle there into 4th place. Hamilton falls away. Norris is on our right, going up towards turn 2. Verstappen didn't get around Leclerc, so Leclerc leads the way. Sainz in 3rd place and try the inside of Norris here, but Norris has other ideas. He goes down the inside of Sainz, looking for 3rd place. Hamilton are outside there, didn't know so it was too late. Hamilton falls away. Perez takes the place over him, but a very, very fast-paced start here. Leclerc leads from Verstappen. Sainz in 3rd, Norris 4th, and we round at the top 5. Perez trying the inside towards turn 4. Going to try and shut the door on him if we can. Ocon exit to keep him behind us for the minute, but a very, very exciting start there. On to lap 4 this thing. Verstappen is keeping Leclerc busy. He's just at the fastest up of this thing, going up towards turn 1. Once again, DRS is in play for us on Lando Norris, who may not get it off of Sainz. He won't get it off of Sainz, so Lando has no defence here. Up towards turns 2 and 3 once again, and looking for P4 off Buck and Patriot in the McLaren. They try and go to the outside. Norris defends underneath, going up towards turn 3. They try and go around the outside of the McLaren, and on corner exit pulling ahead. The McLaren not good enough to compare to our Mercedes on corner exit, and around the outside is the place to be, going through turn 3 against these guys. So up into 4th place now and get to work and try and close down the 3 podium runners. Sainz caught Verstappen and Leclerc. If Sainz can pass Verstappen, that'd be good for us, obviously, but one less point Verstappen can get as Perez challenges Norris behind 4th, 5th place. But on to in lap number 5, start lap 6 now, halfway through the sprint, and Norris makes the move on the right hand side, gets back around us with DRS going towards turn 1, but made the mistake of going for the place and is not keeping the DRS going out of turn 1. We get it back here, and we're right on his tail on corner exit. Hamilton and Perez not a concern right now. They're a second behind us up towards turns 2 and 3 again. Norris defends the inside, will follow right in his wake and pulls to the left hand side, going towards the braking zone, up the hill once again and around the outside, same as before. Norris goes over the curb. P4 once again goes back to us, and we'll get DRS for corner exit 2 because we were behind Norris at the detection point for turn number 3. So once again back in front of the McLaren, but Hamilton and Perez might close a little bit back on us thanks to that battle. Just go down to turn 4 once again. So halfway now through the sprint race, on to lap 8, and Norris might get another chance as here, going up towards turns 2 and 3. He's got DRS the long straight this time, and going up towards the right-hander. We're going to try and defend the inside ourselves. Norris tries the outside. We're going way too late in the brakes there, and going wide off the circuit, and that could be a big mistake there. Norris pulls alongside us on corner exit, will rejoin here, and have to fall back behind the McLaren here, because obviously we're off the track. We have to give the place back to him, so Norris into 4th place for now, and we'll have to try and get him back over the next couple of laps in this race to make our way through turn 4 once again. Norris a bit wide of his line there, but comes back on and blocks us off on corner exit. Lewis and Perez now right back in the fight for 4th place, but Norris is our main concern. On to lap 9 then, and once again this time DRS going down towards turn 4. Here it goes, rear end goes opened up. Going to try to use a bit of an overtake as well up towards the right-hander. Down the hill we go once again. Sainz, Verstappen and Leclerc pulled away. Leclerc is still in the lead. Down the inside, Norris diving from a long way back there from distance and taking P4 away once again. So crucially, P4 back in our possession. That's one more point for our ventures in the championship. But Norris will not let us go, and Hamilton, I wouldn't say it's done yet. Norris goes to the outside, with 3 laps to go in this thing, on to lap 10. Norris around the outside, takes the place. We'll try and get him back with DRS here. We've got DRS in our favour once again over the curbs. They're running wide at turn 1. Luckily, we didn't avoid losing any time and making our way up towards turns 2 and 3 again. Norris is still right there in front of us. This should be light work once more. Around the outside, yellow flag going down towards turn 1. Looks like one of the Williams cars. Not sure if it's Albon or Latifi here, but one of them will be out of the race, most likely. And we've got a yellow flag as well. It's one of the Alfa Romeos has got a problem. Well, that's Bottas or Joe. I'm not too sure. That problem's carried on. That problem stopped. Latifi is pulling the car over. It is Nicholas Latifi who is out, and there it is. The confirmation here is out the Grand Prix. Hamilton trying the outside of Norris here, going through turn 4. He takes the place, and our teammate now sits right behind us. He pushed onto the end of lap 11 and coming on to the bell lap. One more lap to go in this sprint race, and Lewis is right behind us. DRS in play for him as he comes down towards turn 1 for the last time up the hill. Once again, Hamilton going to try and defend, try and force him around the outside if we can. Then cut him off. He's not going to get closer to go for a move on corner exit, but making our way through up towards turn 2. Hamilton get DRS once again, and this time we might have no help here because we've got no battery left and no DRS to challenge him. Hamilton to the outside gets clear of us before we even reach turn 3, and that could be game, set and match unless we can try and get him back towards turn 4. It's close to contact with our teammate going through turn 3. We're close to him going off turn 3 and towards 4 for the last time in this thing. Leclerc is on for victory. Verstappen sets to finish second and Sainz in third, and Hamilton may just have us here. So Leclerc coming through turns 9 and 10. He took the last victory in the sprint race at Imola and went on to win that race as well. Can he try and go 2 for 2 in terms of sprint Grand Prix doubles? Leclerc comes off the last corner, takes the flag and wins the Austrian sprint. Verstappen second and Sainz in third place. And Hamilton has denied us one extra point in the championship. We'd need to try and close on Verstappen and try and keep with him in the standings. Hamilton crosses the line P4 in the end, and our teammate gets us and takes the fastest lap for good measure. We take away P5 from this thing, so 2 places gained and a good starting spot for the Grand Prix with the power unit. Maybe we have to take a penalty because it's getting worn at this point, so it could be a concern. Hamilton takes driver of the day, and of course for once he actually managed to get across the line in front of us. Tough day.
Let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. Today's performance means that Max Verstappen now owns top spot in the Drivers' Championship. Let's move on to the Constructors. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. With the sprint wrapped up, we now have our grid line up for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
So Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, Hamilton, myself in the top 5. That's Norris, Perez and Ocon. The Alpine who scored points. Of course, Ocon was on course for points at Imola in that sprint race before he had to retire from that one. So good for him to get on the score sheet for the sprint races, but obviously only top 8 score points and 3 points lost to Max Verstappen in the standings. So he sits 3 points in front and once again has the lead of the championship back. We sit in second place. Sainz is 12 points back, so still in with a chance. If things go wrong for both myself and Max in this thing, he could take full advantage and emerge in this race in the lead. Ferrari close on Red Bull in the Constructors, and Mercedes still in third place, 24 points back. It's all to play for then going into the remaining race, the Austrian Grand Prix. Let's do this.
Welcome from the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 metres above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of around 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill of turn 3. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Sainz, Hamilton, Lando Norris, and Perez, Ocon, Magnussen, Gasly, and Fernando Alonso, Mick Schumacher, Tsunoda, Lance Stroll, and Vettel, Joe, Ricciardo, Alex Albon, and Valtteri Bottas, Latifi, and Cohen. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Cohen. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
They've been avoiding mistakes and have had solid pace, so it's been a good season so far, but whether they can keep that up long term remains to be seen.
No more talking then, time for action for the Austrian Grand Prix here from dead last on the starting grid. So I did take those penalties and I'll show you the moment the changes made to the power unit going into this one as we make a look at our strategy for the race. The ICE made that change, the MGH made the change on that as well, and the turbocharger, I've gone for that one as well. And then the gearbox, I've left as it is because the gearbox, it wasn't too bad. It's only about 70%. I feel like we're going to try and run the risk and see if things go well for us in the race. But ultimate strategy on the board once again, and fresh parts of the power unit should be run for a good chance in this one.
Formation lap gets underway and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out.
And once again, for the second race in a row, we are the outliers. The only car starts on the hard tyres. Everyone else going for the default strategy. We're going for the ultimate to try and get us some places over the course of this race.
So as all the cars take their positions on the grid, the teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. The question I'm asking is which teams have got it right? Which ones have got it horribly wrong?
Here we go then, lining up for dead last on the starting grid, the final grid spot in our possession as we get set for 36 laps of the Red Bull Ring for this Austrian Grand Prix. 3 fresh parts of our power unit in the car right now. The gearbox could be a concern. We'll deal with that as we come to it, but we've got to make our way through 19 cars and try and limit the damage as much as we can to try and potentially come through and win this race like we did in Saudi Arabia before that turbocharger retirement last season. Can we try and do it again this time? Hold on to take the win. It's all to play for as you come on to the grid to get this one underway. Leclerc and Verstappen on the front row. Once again, 5 lights for the Austrian Grand Prix, round 9 of the season. Lights out, foot to the floor. We are racing in Austria. Poor getaway there on the run towards turn 1. The TV, Bottas and the rest of the field storming out in front of us. Go up towards the first corner. Try and dive to the inside if we can. Try and take 1, if not 2 places down the inside of both Latifi and Valtteri Bottas at the first corner. On corner exit, jumping in front of both of them. So that's 2 places gained off the line here and going up towards turns 2 and 3. Alexander Albon and Daniel Ricciardo are next 2 targets. Albon is there watching Ricciardo challenge Zhou on the run towards turn 3. Pulls to the inside. Got to try and duck out the way, take evasive manoeuvres. But passing Albon and on the inside of Zhou now going into turn 3. So that's 2 places now off the opening advantage here to into P16. Ricciardo now fighting Stroll. Going to try and follow him as best we can here in the opening encounter this race. But a good start overall for us to get a few places after getting off the line so poorly there. Into turn 4, Ricciardo who's trying to jump in front of Stroll on corner exit. Will pull to the inside and cut the place away. We're going to try and take Stroll ourselves now on the outside and going towards turn 6 for the first time in this race. Around the outside of the Canadian in the Aston Martin and trying to pull in front on corner exit. He's still side by side us as we come through, pulling in front, going into turn 7. Going to try and cut him off if we can. Going through turn 8 now. Problem with the gearbox already. I didn't see 5th flash through. We've got a problem already. We've lost 5th gear in the early stage of this Grand Prix. What has happened so very early on to our gearbox is being worn out already, but luckily 5th gear isn't the worst gear to lose, so we'll continue on as we are here, but perhaps detriment slightly on corner exit. But go up towards turn 3 here on lap number 2. Ricciardo and Schumacher fighting over position number 13. We'll try and take that place away if we can. Ricciardo jumps in front, takes 13th away. Then it's Schumacher now behind us in 15th, and we sit P14 at the moment. So go down towards turn 4. Going to try and use some overtake on Ricciardo if we can towards the right-hander once again, and look into the outside of the Honey Badger, going into that 4th corner and on corner exit, trying to pull in front on the outside, but Ricciardo's still there, still giving us chase on the inside. We'll try and cut him off by the better line going into turn 6. That's P13 is now ours. So 7 places gained in the first lap and a half of this thing. That gearbox problem could help us, or hinder us massively over the course of this race. See it struggling there. It's come through turns 7 and 8, but luckily, as I say, 5th gear, not the worst gear to lose. So we'll continue on as we are. Hopefully we'll get that back on the next lap. On to lap number 3 now. We do get 5th gear back, fortunately, so this can be a problem that impact us during the race. That's losing gears and getting them back as things carry on. But going to try and make a move on Vettel, going through turn 8, around the outside of the German, going towards turns 9 and 10, the last 2 corners on the circuit, and try and go around the outside if we can, try and clear him before the right-hander. Vettel falls away, and that's P12 for us now, so 2 places off the points in the first 3 laps. Verstappen fastest laps, so he's still quick up there, but Leclerc is leading the way, unfortunately. So Leclerc keeping Verstappen taking those crucial 7 points to help him further expand that lead in the standings. On to lap 4 now, Stacey Magnussen going to try and dive to the inside as we did on Lando during the sprint race, down the inside of the Haas car and up into P11, 1 place off the points now. Alonso knock on there in front. I think that's Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri in P8, and then Gasly P7 will be the top 6 from there, the top normal cars, and then Lando. Going up towards turn 1 then, we get Tsunoda and Ocon side by side towards that first corner. Tsunoda gets poor exit, makes contact with the Alpine, and on corner exit, we try and jump in front of Alonso, equally gets poor exit, passing Alonso, darting to the left hand side, trying to take Tsunoda. Can we try and get Ocon as well? Can we get close enough to him? Not for the minute. We'll try and clear Yuki going into turn 3 now. boxed in by Ocon. Yuki's on the inside, makes contact with Esteban and tries to go for that move, can't quite do it, and we find ourselves once again nose to tail with our very first rival in Formula 1, Esteban Ocon, on the run down towards turn 4. DRS in our favour, making that move stick. That's three places gained in about 3 or 4 corners, so not too bad at all if we can try and clear Ocon here on corner X, the inside line, the preferred line going through. So that is the place in our possession once again. So into 8th place now. Yellow flag behind us. Latifi's got a problem. One of the Williams cars, it was Latifi, had a problem during the sprint race as well. We didn't see what it was, but this time the smoke's pouring from that Williams, and the race could be over for him already. And Bottas and Joe, the two Alfa Romeo, stuck behind him right now. So not a good place to be for those two cars. They'll get away nice and easy, but Latifi though, pulling the car over, and that's it for him. And after rumours we're hearing, he could potentially be replaced by Logan Sargent or one of the Williams cars, one of the Williams juniors around the next season. That could be big trouble for him in the second half of this campaign. On to lap number 9, start lap 10 now, and closing on Pierre Gasly. It's been a few laps chasing. We managed to get up close to him. We'll try and work on trying to take that place away and obviously get up towards the top 6 in the field. Obviously, our teammate Lewis Hamilton, the Red Bulls, the Ferrari, and of course Lando Norris. But Gasly though, our former teammate, our first teammate, our main target here. Going to pull to the left-hand side. Going to try and go on the outside again. Going up towards turn number 3. See Perez and Hamilton side by side there, going through the third corner. Not sure who comes out on top there, but Gasly will come out on top of it over him on corner exit. So once again, taking another place into 7th place now, and our work is complete, passing the slower cars. Now it's time to try and take on the lead drivers in this race. Obviously, Perez and Hamilton still going at it as they make their way through turn 4. So good fight between those two. Hopefully those two fighting will hold each other up, and as a result we'll try and close in onto lap 15 now in this Grand Prix. Obviously the medium tyres starting to fall off at this point, so our hard tyres still got life left in them. So we come towards turn 1, we're right on the tail of our teammate and of course the returning Sergio Perez this season. Onto the DRS straight once again, and up towards turns 2 and 3, closing on Lewis. We're going to make a move to the left hand side, of course took a point from us in this sprint. I'll try and get him back here in the main race. Up towards the braking zone we go. Luckily not getting boxed in by Perez, not close enough to get boxed in. Go around the outside of Hamilton, avoiding going wide, avoiding running off the circuit, and P6 is now ours. So now we're within the inner sanctum of the lead cars in this race. And Sergio Perez sits next on our hit list. So pushing on now to lap number 16, a lap later, and closing on Perez once again. DRS in our favour. No, Perez gets nothing off of Norris, who's 3 seconds in front of him right now. We are closing on the leaders massively fast. These power unit components have been crucial to us actually gaining in terms of pace on the inside of Perez through turn 4, and on corner exit jumping into P5. So Hamilton and Perez now dispatched, but of course we're getting closer and closer to our first stop in this race. And of course everyone else making their first stops. Onto that 21 though, everyone else made their stops, and we're the last car coming in on our set of hard tyres. And Verstappen sits 12.2 seconds behind us right now. Sainz in 3rd, Leclerc 4th, and Norris rounds out the top 5 will narrowly avoid the pit limit going into the pit lane, and looking to see we're about to emerge compared to everyone else. Most likely we'll still emerge behind the majority of these cars, but we'll see if we've lost or gained any time on strategy. Also, we'll gain a little bit back thanks to being on the much stronger medium tyres for the last 15 laps of this race. But Verstappen goes through, takes the lead. There goes the two Ferraris onto the racetrack, going towards turn 1. Norris is there. We'll take P4 back as we hit the pit exit and up the hill towards turn 1 again. We should emerge around Hamilton and Perez, or in between Hamilton and Perez fighting, and then Norris in 4th place. There is Norris. Going to jump out alongside Perez, be forced right into combat on the way towards turns 2 and 3. Norris pulling away side by side there with the driver who took our former seat at Red Bull, going up towards turn 3 once again, and down the inside the much fresher medium tyres on the inside this time on corner exit, making the pass stick, forcing Perez off onto the curb. So they didn't give him much room on corner exit, but taking the place away. P5 is now ours, and the race begins now for us to try and chase down Norris, the two Ferraris, and then Max Verstappen. Onto lap 24, fastest lap now in our possession. These medium tyres are dangerously quick, and we are closing massively on Norris. We're into the DRS race now, of course. Crucially, have to keep our eye on that gearbox to make our way through towards turns 9 and 10 once again, because obviously that problem could try and rear its head later on in the race, and he's back to doing it again here, going through it. That is in gear 6, making our way through, and we've lost 5th gear again. You see him struggling off of the last corner and going through, lost 5th gear once more. Fortunately, hopefully this will be the last issue. Fastest up again, still got pace in the race car. 5th gear, as I said earlier, not the worst gear to lose, but into turn 1 though, onto lap 25 of this thing. 11 more laps to go in this race. Lando Norris is our next target on the run up towards turns 2 and 3. Once again here, closing all the time with our compatriot, as we did during the sprint. Around the outside once more, you'll get used to seeing this sight. He's gotten used to seeing this sight over the course of the weekend. Around the outside of Norris though, P4 is ours here, and we are only a few places away now, 1 place off a podium, and trying to close in on Sainz and Leclerc. Onto lap 27 now, into the final 10 laps of this thing, and into turn 1, and once again turns 2 and 3 will be our prime points of attack, although goes to turn 4 if we need to. Sainz and Leclerc there in front of us. Leclerc's got DRS and closing on Sainz on the run up towards that 3rd corner, closing in all the time on his teammate Sainz. Going to try and defend the inside, but Leclerc gets the inside first. There's Verstappen pulling away. Ferrari boys side by side through turn 3. Going to try and go on the outside of Leclerc on corner exit. Try and jump in front. Got DRS off of both cars here, passing Leclerc. Sainz of the poor exit at the corner. No DRS to its advantage. And going down towards turn 4. Trying to make it 2 takes double whammy on the Ferraris potentially. Around the outside into turn 4. We've got 2 places there in a case of just 1 straight. And it's a 2nd place now. 1 spot from the race victory. This is actually on, ladies and gentlemen. Into turn 6. 2.3 behind Verstappen with 9 laps to go. Plenty of time to close the Dutchman down, and pushing on as hard as we can is try and catch him, but also Verstappen. Keep an eye on the gearbox. We've got 5th gear back, crucially. So the gearbox is holding through at the minute. But for how much longer? On to lap number 30 now. In DRS range of our championship opponent, Max Verstappen, who looked a few races ago to be the dominant favourite to win this title. We've come back after the last 2 rounds. Could make it through on the trot here and go for our 4th win of the season. It's in range now. It's in touching distance into turn 1 on the tail of Max Verstappen's Red Bull on corner exit. The Red Bull a lot stronger than it was last season. The class of the field so far. But here we come now. Now Mercedes on the run towards turns 2 and 3 once more. So in the face of so many overtakes here over the course of this Grand Prix, and around the outside one more time on Verstappen going into turn 3. Verstappen hits the curb there and on corner exit, pulling away and taking the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. There's just a handful of laps left to go in this thing, and the gearbox is holding, the power unit is holding strong right now. The fresh components have been so crucial today in our drive through the field, but now we're only 5 laps from victory in this thing, and it doesn't look like Verstappen's got anything more left for us. He's given all he can and keeping in front of those 2 Ferraris by a decent margin as he enters turn 6 on lap 31, but 5 laps later on lap 36, 1 more second to go. Verstappen is still a second behind us. We haven't been able to pull away from him as well as we have everyone else, but crucially, the auto strategy, the fresh power unit components and the gearbox holding strong has all come together to pull off one of our greatest ever drives on the F1 game into the final corner. Verstappen is chasing. He's going to run out of racetrack though, run out of time, run out of room. We run to the flag and take our 4th win of the season, the 3rd straight at the Austrian Grand Prix, the place where Ultimate Career started, the birthplace of this series. We take the lead of the World Drivers' Championship outright for the first time this season, and the driver of the day, well deserved, last to first. Ladies and gentlemen, this fight for the championship is very much game on.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
I think we'll chalk this one up to a deft touch on the brake pedal. That's allowed them to challenge down the inside into the braking zones, and ultimately, if you do that often enough, you end up winning the race. It was great to watch as well though, wasn't it? Forget strategy, forget tyre management. Who doesn't love a good old-fashioned scrap?
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners.
As we catch our breath then from an exhilarating Austrian Grand Prix, our 4th win of the season, our 8th in Ultimate Career as a whole. And guys, I'll say it again, without the fresh power unit components, without the auto strategy working for us, being the only car who did it, without the gearbox holding this time, unlike it did at Imola, and of course this time not running out of fuel as we did in Imola, this time we come through and take the victory, as well as banishing the ghost with Saudi Arabia, where the same thing happened there, and we lost that race with 4 laps to go. But let's have a look now at the results and the table after this race.
So let's review the drivers' standings. Cohen takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
I have to give it to Cohen. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern-day Formula 1.
Let's move on to the constructors. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula 1.
So the rest of the top 10 then, Verstappen finished in 2nd, Sainz in 3rd, Leclerc takes 4th in the end, Norris 5th, then Perez beat Hamilton at the very end of the Grand Prix, Alonso 8th, Gasly 9th, and Esteban Ocon now is the final point of the race. But guys, what a day this has been in Austria. And I'll say it again, that all the components came into place. We were merely the pilots in that race. Everything came together for us, and we've come through and taken a full 26 points. I think for the first time ever. Have we ever won a race with the fastest lap as well? I'm not too sure on that. But the championship standings, we lead now by 5 points to Verstappen. Sainz is 20 back. As I've been saying in the last episode or so, he's still very much in it in case something goes wrong for myself and Max. But right now, we lead the standings with 7 races to go in the season. In terms of constructors, Red Bull still lead the way, but Ferrari and Mercedes have both closed that gap, 16 and 18 points. The gap in the top 3, both championships still very much up for grabs. But guys, that'll do it for this episode of the F1 Ultimate Career Series. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more future F1 content. And that's a fantastic day, and I shall see you guys in my next video. I'm going to go lie down.